Hey Vault Squad! Today, we're digging into a hidden battle that's happening in millions of bodies worldwide. That's right, we're talking about worms and parasites, the creepy crawlies you don't see but definitely don't want. They're sneaky, they're nasty, and they can live inside you without you even knowing. Let's break down the different types of parasites, how they invade our systems, and, most importantly, how we fight back. Worms versus parasites. What's the difference? First off, let's quickly define the difference between worms and parasites. Worms are a type of parasite, but not all parasites are worms. Parasites are organisms that live in or on a host and get their food at the expense of the host. Worms, like roundworms and tapeworms, are just one category of parasites. Other parasites include protozoa, like Giardia, and insects, like lice. So, worms are a subset of the broader category of parasites. Here are some common types of worms and parasites. Roundworms, Ascaris. These intestinal invaders are super common, especially where sanitation isn't great. They're picked up from contaminated soil or food and can grow into huge, spaghetti-like worms. Gross, right? Tapeworms. These tapeworms can set up camp in your intestines for years, eating up your nutrients while staying under the radar. They usually come from eating undercooked beef or pork, so make sure your steak is well done. Hookworms. These tiny terrors can latch onto your intestines, but they actually enter through your skin, usually when you walk barefoot on contaminated soil. They drain your blood, leaving you feeling weak and tired. Pinworms or threadworms. If you've ever dealt with a kid scratching their behind at night, it could be pinworms. These tiny critters are super common in children and cause major itching. Giardia. This little bug is not technically a worm, but a protozoan. It's a nasty waterborne parasite that causes giardiasis, or beaver fever, and leads to severe digestive issues. Yikes. Liver flukes. These flatworms can find their way into your liver and bile ducts. They usually sneak in through raw or undercooked freshwater fish. Now let's look at foods that increase the risk of parasite infection. Parasites love to hitch a ride in certain foods. Here's what you should watch out for. Undercooked meats. Pork, beef, and freshwater fish are notorious for carrying parasites like tapeworms, trichinella, and liver flukes. Cook your meat thoroughly. No pink means no parasites. Contaminated vegetables. If veggies are grown in dirty soil or watered with unsafe water, they can carry roundworm or hookworm larvae. Always wash and cook your greens. Unfiltered water. Untreated water from lakes, rivers, or wells is a perfect home for Giardia. If you're camping, filter that water before you drink. Symptoms of worms and parasites. How do you know? Think you might have a parasite? Here are some telltale signs. Abdominal pain, cramping, bloating, or just general discomfort. Parasites love to mess with your gut. Digestive issues. Parasites can cause diarrhea, constipation, or gas. If your tummy's out of whack, it might not just be last night's takeout. Unexplained weight loss. If you're dropping pounds without trying, a parasite might be siphoning off your nutrients. Itching. Around the anus, especially common with pinworms, and it's worse at night. Fatigue and weakness. Feeling drained? Blood-sucking parasites like hookworms can leave you anemic and exhausted. Nausea and vomiting. This is pretty common, especially if Giardia is in the mix. Rashes or skin irritation. Hookworms can even cause skin issues when they burrow in. How to check for parasites? Stool sample testing. Your doctor can look for parasite eggs in your stool. Blood tests. Some parasites can be detected by looking for specific antibodies in your blood. Tape test. For pinworms, you can use a piece of tape on the anus in the morning. Pinworm eggs will stick to it. Not glamorous, but it works. Imaging. X-rays, CT scans, or ultrasounds can sometimes reveal larger parasites. Endoscopy or colonoscopy. In some cases, doctors will use an endoscope to see what's lurking inside. The most dangerous worms and parasites? Not all parasites are created equal. Some are far scarier than others. Here are the ones you really don't want. Tapeworms in the brain, neurocystic. Yes, tapeworms can migrate to your brain. The larvae of Tinea solium can cause neurocystic, leading to seizures, headaches, and other scary neurological issues. How it happens? Usually from eating undercooked pork contaminated with tapeworm eggs or from poor hygiene practices. Filarial worms. These worms cause lymphatic filariasis, aka elephantiasis, where your limbs swell massively. They live in the lymphatic system and cause major blockages. How it happens? Mostly transmitted by mosquitoes in tropical areas. Schistosomiasis, blood flukes. These parasites live in blood vessels and can cause serious liver and kidney damage. Long-term, they can even lead to infertility or bladder cancer. How it happens? They enter through your skin if you wade or swim in contaminated freshwater. Echinococcus, hydatid disease. These tapeworms cause cysts in organs like your liver and lungs. If these cysts rupture, it can be life-threatening. How it happens? Comes from contact with infected animals, often dogs, or contaminated food or water. Hookworms. These small but mighty parasites suck your blood from your intestines, leading to anemia and malnutrition, especially harmful for kids. How it happens? Walking barefoot on contaminated soil is an open invitation. Now let's look at parasites and worms in fish and crustaceans. Fish and crustaceans are also common hosts for parasites. Here's what you need to know. Common fish species with worms. Salmon. Wild-caught salmon can have anisakis, herring worms. Cod. Known for roundworms, anisakis. Haddock and halibut. Also known to carry anisakis, eating these raw could spell trouble. Freshwater fish. Perch, pike, and trout are often infected with liver flukes. Crustaceans and parasites. Fermented crab in papaya salads. Ever had a som tum, aka papaya salad, in Thailand? It sometimes includes fermented crab, which can harbor liver flukes and intestinal flukes. Delicious, but risky. Is cooking fish safe? Absolutely. Cooking fish to an internal temperature of at least 145 degrees Fahrenheit or 63 degrees Celsius will kill parasites. You can also freeze fish at -4 Fahrenheit or -20 Celsius for at least 7 days to kill them. Sushi and parasites. Raw fish is always a risk. Sushi-grade fish is usually flash frozen to kill parasites, but it's not foolproof. If your immune system is compromised, stick to cooked sushi options. How do we get rid of worms? Here are some common deworming methods. Pharmaceutical treatments. Over-the-counter or prescription drugs like mebendazole, albendazole, and praziquantel are the go-to for most parasites. These meds either kill the worms outright or prevent them from absorbing nutrients. Side effects. You might experience nausea, vomiting, or dizziness, but these are usually temporary. Always consult a healthcare professional before starting treatment. Dosage. For adults, 400 milligrams of albendazole or 100 milligrams of mebendazole is typical, but dosage for kids varies. Check with your doctor. Traditional remedies. Nature's got a few tricks up its sleeve too. Garlic, a natural anti-parasitic that works wonders against pinworms and roundworms. Pumpkin seeds. Cucurbitacins in pumpkin seeds can paralyze parasites, making them easier to flush out. Papaya seeds. These are effective against a variety of parasites and can be eaten whole or ground up. How often should you deworm? Most adults should deworm once or twice a year, especially if they're in a high-risk area. Kids should be dewormed every 6 to 12 months to prevent malnutrition and other health issues. Interesting facts about deworming. Deworming programs are often run in schools to protect children from infections. Poor hygiene, like not washing hands after using the toilet, makes it easy for parasites to spread. Risk of contamination by meat type. Pork. High risk of parasites like tapeworms, Taenia solium, and roundworms, Trichinella spiralis. Cooking and freezing properly is essential. Beef. Lower risk than pork, but tapeworms, Taenia saginata, are still a concern. Cook beef thoroughly. Chicken. Less prone to parasites, but often contaminated with bacteria like salmonella. Cooking to at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit or 74 degrees Celsius will keep you safe. Fish. Freshwater fish can carry liver flukes. Cook or freeze to kill them. Lamb and goat. Similar to beef, with moderate risk. Cook it well to be safe. Prevention tips. Always cook meat thoroughly to the recommended temperature. Wash your hands before eating and after using the bathroom. Thoroughly clean fruits and vegetables before eating them. Only drink treated or filtered water to avoid contamination. Thanks for tuning in to Versus Vault. Remember, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to knowing what could be lurking inside your body. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and stay with us for more thrilling breakdowns and deep dives into the things that affect your life, health, and everything in between. Catch you next time on Versus Vault, where we put everything side by side so you can make the best decisions possible.